This conference will now be recorded.
Please mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. So we'll start the demo session. And any doubts you can ask after the end of the session. Any doubts you can ask after end of the session. So I'm starting the demo session. So before demo, let me introduce myself. I'm Ravi. I'm having 10 plus years of real-time experience. And I'm having 11 plus years of training SAP SD training experience. I worked in companies Capgemini, AG Technologies, and I am SD certified consultant. So coming to SAP. So you can take the notes also. You have to take the notes. Of course, it's a demo session, but take the notes. It will help you in future. Okay, SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. Take this. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. And SAP is an ERP package. SAP is an ERP package. Take this. SAP is an ERP package. SAP is an ERP package. And ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So once again, SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. And SAP is an ERP package. And ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So what is ERP? Try to understand with this. So ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. If you take a company, you will have various departments. If you take a company, you will have sales department, you will have purchase department, you will have finance department, you will have HR department, you will have production department. And ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. If you have proper planning in all the departments, then only you can see the success of the organization. If you have proper planning in all the departments, then only we can able to see the success of the organization. It is not like that we have very good planning in sales. We have very good planning in sales. We can able to get more orders from the customers, but there is no planning in production department. What happens? So production department, they are not in a position to manufacture the goods on time. If they don't manufacture the goods on time, then we cannot deliver the goods to customers on time. So if you're not delivering the goods to customers on time, what happens? Customer dissatisfaction. If customer is not satisfied, will he place order next time? No. So final result is loss to the company. We lose the customers and it is loss to the company. Even though we have very good planning in sales department, but we are losing customers. We are losing business because of no planning in production department, like that. Everything is interlinked. So that is the reason we require proper planning in all the departments in a organization. So I'll give you one more example. We have very good planning in sales department. We can able to get more orders from the customers, but we have very good planning in production department. We can able to manufacture the goods properly, but there is no planning in purchase department. So if there is no planning in purchase department, they are not in a position to procure the raw materials on time. If they don't procure the raw materials on time, they cannot manufacture the goods on time. If they are not manufacturing the goods on time, we cannot deliver the goods to customers on time, like that. Everything is interlinked. So if you want to see the success of any organization, we require proper planning in all the departments. And that planning is specified in ERP. Make a note. ERP specifies ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in a organization. Take this: sales, purchase, finance, HR, production. These are the departments in organization. These are some of the departments. Like that, we have many departments. But in example, we are taking only 5 departments. Take this example. Megan, if you have proper planning, if you have proper planning in all the departments, if you have proper planning in all the departments in an organization, in an organization, then only we can see, the success of the organization. Then only we can see the success of the organization. The proper next slide. The proper planning, in all the departments. The proper planning in all the departments will be specified in ERP. The proper planning in all the departments will be specified in ERP. And ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. And what are the 4Ms? Money, machinery, manpower, material. These are the 4Ms: money, materials, machinery, manpower. Make a note. ERP also specifies ERP also specifies ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. Make a note. The 4Ms are money, materials, machinery, manpower. Money, materials, machinery, manpower. So ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. The 4Ms are money, materials, machinery, and manpower. So once again, SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. And SAP is an ERP package. And ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in your organization. And ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. The 4Ms are money, materials, machinery, manpower. Next. So we have other ERP packages also available in the market, like SAP. SAP is based on ERP. Like that, we have other ERP packages available in the market, and these are the other ERP packages: Oracle, PeopleSoft, Barn, Siebel, JD Edwards, like that. So these are all the other ERP packages available in the market. Make a note. Other ERP packages available in the market. Other ERP packages available in the market. Other ERP packages available in the market. Take one by one. Oracle, PeopleSoft, Barn, Siebel, JD Edwards. Oracle, PeopleSoft, Barn, Siebel, JD Edwards. So these are all the other ERP packages. But why only SAP is famous? Why only SAP is famous? Even though we have other ERP packages available in the market, why only SAP is famous? Because we have some advantages of SAP. The main advantage of SAP is only SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. You name any department, we'll have solution from SAP. So only SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. Other ERP packages are specific to one department. Oracle is mainly for finance. PeopleSoft, HR, Siebel, CRM, like that. Other ERP packages are specific to one department. But only SAP will have solution for all the departments in a organization. So that is the main advantage. And one more advantage of SAP is a tightly integrated product. SAP is a tightly integrated product. What do you mean by that? If you do some transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments. It automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. So if you do some transactions in any department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. So if I say transactions, the transactions are in SD. So I use the word transaction. So I'm explaining what you mean by transactions. In SD, the transactions are inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. These are the transactions. These are the transactions in SD. Like that, every module, they have their own transactions. Whenever I say transactions, nothing but this: inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, and invoice. This is the sequence. So if I create sales order in sales department, that information will be passed to other departments wherever it is required. If I do delivery, same in SD, in a sales department, if I do delivery, that information will be automatically passed to other departments wherever it is required. If I create invoice, that information will be passed to FI, like that. So if I do transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. Wherever it is required, like that. Because if I create sales order, the information should be passed to plant, inventory people, so they will plan according. If stock is not there, they will arrange the stock, or if manufacture the goods, like that. So that information will be passed to inventory, PP, etc., etc. If I do delivery, this information will be passed to inventory people. If I create invoice, that information will be passed to FI people, like that. So if I say transactions, nothing but this: inquiry, quotation. Make a note. Example for transactions is, just take the example, then I'll give the notes for advantages of SAP. Example for transactions: inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. Inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. Now we'll go back to this. Make a note. Heading: advantages of SAP. Advantages of SAP. First point, first advantage, only SAP will have solution. Only SAP will have solution. Only SAP will have solution for all the departments. Only SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. Only SAP will have solution for all the departments in a organization. Second advantage. Second advantage. SAP is a tightly integrated product. 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 So these are the two advantages of SAP. That is the reason SAP is famous when you compare to other ERP packages, because they are specific to one department, not like SAP. They are specific to only one department. But only SAP will have solution for all the departments in a organization. And SAP is a tightly integrated product. Make a note. Example for tightly integrated product is if you do the transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments. It automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. Wherever it is required. And we discussed transactions. SD transactions are transactions means inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, and invoice. So these are the advantages of SAP. Next, no need to take this. Just I'll try to explain. No need to take this. So you might be having some doubt what could be the future of SAP. So that is the reason I'll explain the future of SAP. But don't take this in your notes, not required. So the best example for the future of SAP is you will find people shifting from other applications to SAP. You'll find people shifting from other ERP packages to SAP. You will find people shifting from Java to SAP, .NET to SAP. You will find people shifting from sales to SAP, domain sales to SAP. Like that, you will find people shifting from other areas to SAP. But you will never find people shifting from SAP to other areas. That is the best example for the future of SAP. Why people are shifting from other areas to SAP? Why people are shifting from other ERP packages to SAP? Why people are shifting from Java to SAP, .NET to SAP? Because the future is only for SAP. The coming future is only for SAP. So that is the reason people are shifting from other areas to SAP. So this is the best example for the future of SAP. So if you are coming from other domains, other packages, you will be having some doubt what could be the future of SAP. You can retire in SAP. If you step into SAP, you can retire in SAP. Not like other ERP packages. After some period, you don't have a future in that. Then you have to learn other application. Then you have to again search for the job. That scenarios you will never find in SAP. If you step into SAP, you can retire in SAP. So that is the future of SAP. Not only present, next 40 years, you don't have any problem with the future of SAP because there is no competition to SAP. There is no competition to SAP. And no product because already if you see 75 to 80% of the market share has been grabbed by SAP. For competitors, other ERP packages, the left out is only 20% market share. And all these 80%, 75 to 80% companies, they require consultants like us throughout the lifetime. Throughout the lifetime. And if any company develops a product like SAP, the left out share is only 20%. So that is the reason no company will dare to develop the product like SAP. That means there is no competition to SAP in future also. There is no competition to SAP in future also. So that is the future of SAP. So you'll find people shifting from other applications, other areas, other domains, other ERP packages to SAP. But you'll never find people shifting from SAP to other areas. So that is the best example for the future of SAP. And not only now, next 40 years, 50 years, there is no doubt about the future of SAP. If you step into SAP, you can retire in SAP. There is no doubt about the future of SAP. And because there is no competition to SAP. I can say this confidently. Next, take this. Versions in SAP. Versions in SAP. Versions in SAP. See, the latest version is 6. The latest version is 6. Previous to this 5. Previous to this 4.7. Previous to this 4.6c. Previous to this 4.6, like that. These are all the versions. 3. These are all the versions in SAP. Take these versions. Take these versions. But present version is 6. Make a note. The present version is 6. The present version is 6. Present version is this one, 6. Next line. The difference between version to version is upgradation of the product. The difference between version to version is upgradation of the product. See, I'll try to explain this, why we require these many versions. See, 1980s, the version is 3, but present version is 6. 1980s, the version was 3, but present is 6. So the way of doing business in 1980s, try to understand this. The way of doing business in 1980s and the way of doing business present, is it same? So the way of doing business in 1980s and the way of doing business in 2020, there's a lot of change. There's a lot of change in business requirements. So whenever the business requirement changes, SAP will release new versions. SAP will release new versions. Whenever the business requirement changes, SAP will come out with new versions. So the difference between version to version is upgradation of the product. Make it note. Next slide. Whenever the business requirement changes, whenever the business requirement changes, whenever the business requirement changes, SAP will release new versions. Whenever the business requirement changes, SAP will release new versions. SAP will release new versions. And see here, the present version is 6, and the most successful version in SAP history is also 6. The most successful version in SAP history is also 6. Make it note. The most successful version in SAP history. The most successful version in SAP history is 6. The most successful version in SAP history is 6. So it is almost 13 years, 14 years they introduced 6 version. But since this 13 years, there are a lot of business requirements, changes in business requirements. But SAP is not releasing new versions. Last 13 years, even though there is changes in business requirement, SAP doesn't want to disturb this 6 version. So within 6 version, what SAP is doing, they are releasing enhancement packages. They are releasing enhancement packages. EHP means enhancement package. So after 6 version, if any business requirement changes, then SAP is releasing enhancement packages. Version is same 6, but under this you'll have various enhancement packages. Like, make it note. After 6 version, if any business requirement changes, after 6 version, if any business requirement changes, then SAP is releasing enhancement packages. SAP is releasing enhancement packages. SAP is releasing enhancement packages. Like version is 6. Version is 6. Under this, you will have EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, EHP4, EHP5, EHP6, EHP7, EHP8 present. Like that. EHP stands for enhancement package. Enhancement package. So take like this. Under 6 version, you will have all these packages. Under version 6, you will have EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And EHP stands for enhancement package. Enhancement package. enhancement package. So present is ESP8. So the difference between one enhancement package to another is also upgradation of the product. The difference between one enhancement package to another is same, upgradation of the product. Make a note. The difference between one enhancement package to another. The difference between one enhancement package to another is upgradation of the product. The difference between one enhancement package to another is upgradation of the product. The difference between one enhancement package to another is upgradation of the product. Now, in SAP, we have two types of consultants, functional consultants, technical consultants. Functional consultants, we don't do coding, and we don't require the knowledge of coding. So you'll have some doubt. If you want to learn SAP, do we require some coding knowledge? No, nothing. Coding is not required for functional consultants. We are functional. See here, SD comes under functional. Not only SD, all modules, FI, CO, MM, PP, QM, all these comes under functional modules, a technical basis and ABAP. So ABAPers will require the knowledge of coding, but functional consultants, there's no prerequisite related to coding. So we don't require any coding knowledge, but ABAPer requires coding knowledge because they do coding. So most of the people will have some doubts. So that is the reason I want to clarify this. So we don't require any coding knowledge, functional consultants. Only technical consultants, that too ABAPers requires coding knowledge. Make a note. In SAP, functional consultants does not require coding knowledge. Functional consultants does not require coding knowledge. So keep in mind, because most of the people will have this doubt, whether we require some coding knowledge or not, or whether there is any prerequisite to learn SAP SD. No, nothing. If you are graduate, you are eligible to do SAP SD. That's it. If you are a graduate, you can do SAP SD. There's no other courses required. There's no prerequisite for SAP SD. There is no coding knowledge for SAP SD. Nothing. You can, if you are graduate, if you are interested to move to software or to move to SAP, then you are eligible to do SAP SD. That's it. Okay, take this example for functional modules, technical modules. Take this. Functional modules, SD, sales and distribution. Take this. Functional modules, SD, sales and distribution, FI, finance, CO, controlling, MM, materials management, PP, production planning, QM, quality management, and technical modules, basis, ABAP. So these are the modules. We have other modules also, but these are some core modules I mentioned here. You have many other modules, but these are the core modules I mentioned in the screen, functional modules. Make a note. Next line. SD is a functional module. SD is a functional module. And we will be called as functional consultants. We will be called as functional consultants. All these modules, SD consultant, nothing but functional consultants. Okay. So now we'll see the architecture. SAP architecture. SAP architecture. So before this architecture, we request knowledge of users. So I'll try to explain who is user. So any client, suppose Ranbaxy, try to understand this. Suppose client we call client. Ranbaxy. So if Ranbaxy wants to implement SAP, if Ranbaxy wants to implement SAP, assume that Ranbaxy is already using SAP, but assume the example, if Ranbaxy is using, assume that Ranbaxy is using JD Edwards, other ERP package. Now they want to implement SAP. Now they want to implement SAP. If Ranbaxy wants to implement SAP, then take IBM. Implementation partner is IBM. IBM company will implement SAP to Ranbaxy. And we will work for IBM as a functional consultant. Through IBM, we will implement SAP to Ranbaxy client. Ranbaxy is the company, we call terminology client. So in this example, who is our implementation partner? IBM. What IBM will do? IBM will implement SAP. To whom? Ranbaxy. And Ranbaxy we call it as client. Ranbaxy we call it as client. So any client, we'll discuss this again also. So any client, if they want to implement SAP, they have to purchase license from SAP. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, they have to purchase license from SAP. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, remember, they have to purchase license from SAP. This is the first activity. And on what basis they decide how many licenses to be purchased? How they decide how many licenses to be purchased? Based on the number of users. Based on the number of users. So how they decide how many licenses to be purchased? Based on the number of users. Who is user? User is the employee of client. Client means here Ranbaxy. User is the employee of client who will use SAP. User is the employee of client who will use SAP. Who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. So users will do inquiries, quotations in SD. SD users will do inquiries, quotations, sales orders, deliveries, invoice. In real time, who will do all these? Users. Who will do all these? Users. User is the employee of client who will use SAP or who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. So we should know about users. So that is the reason we discuss. We'll discuss again client, implementation partner, all this terminology again. but here we should know users. And assume that my Ranbaxy purchase, Ranbaxy will have 1500 users. In all departments, they'll have 1500 users. So they'll purchase 1500 license. Every user will have separate license. So they'll purchase 1500 license. Each license cost approximately 80,000 rupees, INR, Indian currency. That means 12 crores. So Ranbaxy has to pay this 12 crores to SAP to get the license. How many license? 1500 license. Like that. So every user will have separate license. So if you have 1500 users, they'll purchase not exactly 1500, they'll purchase a little bit more, 1550 users or 1600 users, something like that. Because consultants, implementation support consultants should also have license. So that we'll discuss later. But here we should know user. To understand architecture, we should know users. So that is the reason we discuss this. Make a note. SAP architecture. SAP architecture is R3. Take like this, R by 3. R means real time. R means real time. 3 means three-tier architecture. R means real time. 3 means three-tier architecture. R means real time. 3 means three-tier architecture. So in three-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. Presentation layer. Make a note. In three-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. In three-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. First one, presentation layer. First one, presentation layer. Second one, application layer. Second one, application layer. Second one, application layer. Third one, database layer. Third one, database layer. So all 1500 users will have system. All 1500 users will have system. So I'll try to explain here. So is one user. Assume that he is one user working in system. He is another user. He is having separate system. He is another user having separate system. Now, like that, in our example, we have 1500 users. 1500 users will have 1500 systems. Every user will do something in system. Next, this is assume that this is application layer, and this is database layer. And all these we call presentation layers. The system used by end user will be called as presentation layers. So any request raised by presentation layer, suppose he wants monthly sales report. This person wants monthly sales report. So the request, he will enter something in his system, presentation layer. Then this request will be taken by application layer. This request will be first taken by application layer in a sequence. Like that, all 1500 users are doing something. So all the requests will be taken by application layer in a sequence. In a sequence. So here first person wants monthly sales report. The request will be taken by application layer and send this request to database layer. Then take the data. What is asking monthly sales report? Take the relevant data and give it back to presentation layer. Send it back to presentation layer. So this process called as three-tier architecture. Here example, I taken only one person request. Like that, all 1500 users are doing something. So all the requests will be taken by application layer in a sequence, one by one. And in a sequence, it will send the request to database layer, take the data and send it back to presentation layer. So this process we call three-tier architecture. This process will be called as three-tier architecture. So take this example, then I'll give the notes. All these are presentation layers, all these presentation layers and application layer, database layer. Take this example. I'll give the notes. Okay. So in three-tier architecture, we have three layers, presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Make a note. Take first one, presentation layer. Take first one, presentation layer. Presentation layer. The system used by users. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. Next line. Any request raised by one second. Next line. User is the employee of client. User is the employee of client. User is the employee of client. Who will use SAP? User is the employee of client who will use SAP. User is the employee of client who will use SAP. Client means in our example Ranbaxy. Terminology we call it as client. So user is the employee of client who will use SAP. Bracket who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Bracket who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Whenever I say transactions, so we discuss inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. Keep in mind. So inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. In real time, who will do all these in system? Users. We call them as users. User is a employee of client who will use SAP. Or for our understanding, who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Make it up. Next line. Application layer. Heading. Make it up. Any request raised by presentation layer. Any request raised by presentation layer. Any request raised by presentation layer will be first taken by application layer. Will be first taken by application layer in a sequence. Will be first taken by application layer in a sequence. And send the request to database layer. And send the request to database layer. Take the data. Take the data. Take the data and send it back to take the data and send it back to take the data and send it back to presentation layer. Send it back to presentation layer. So this process we call third-party process. Three-tier architecture process. Okay. So database layer consists of the data. Database layer consists of the actual data. And here application layer acts as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Take that. Application layer acts as a mediator. Application layer act as a mediator. Application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Next line. Database layer consists of the data. Database layer consists of the data. So this is about three-tier architecture. So SAP architecture is R3, real-time three-tier architecture. In three-tier architecture, we'll have three layers: presentation layer, application layer, database layer. The system used by users will be treated as presentation layer, and any request raised by presentation layer will be first taken by application layer and send the request to database layer, take the data and give it back to presentation layer. So this process is called as three-tier architecture. So here presentation layer means the system used by users. User is the employee of client who will use SAP, and application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer, and database layer consists of the actual data. Database layer consists of the actual data. So from starting SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. And SAP is an ERP package. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. If you want to see the success of any organization, you require proper planning in all the departments. And that proper planning is specified in ERP. So ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. And ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. The 4Ms are money, materials, machinery, manpower. And as I said, SAP is an ERP package. We have other ERP packages available in the market. That is Oracle, PeopleSoft, Barn, Siebel, JD. But why only SAP is famous? The reason is SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. We can give solution for total enterprise, total company, total organization, because we have solution for each and every department in an organization. But other ERP packages not like that. They are specific to one department. They don't have solution for total organization. They don't have solution for all the departments. So that is one advantage with SAP. Only SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. And SAP is a tightly integrated product. SAP is a tightly integrated product. What do you mean by that? If you do transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. If you do the transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. Future of SAP. So not only present, next 40-50 years, you don't have doubt about the future of SAP because there is no competition to SAP. And versions in SAP. The present version is 6, and the most successful version in SAP history is also 6. And previous to this, we have 5, 4.7 like. And after releasing 6th version, if any business requirement changes, SAP is releasing new enhancement packages. EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, EHP like that. The difference between one enhancement package to another is upgradation of the product. And the difference between one version to another version is also same, upgradation of the product. And will be called as functional consultants. And like that, we have technical consultants also in SAP. So in SAP, the consultants are divided into two, functional and technical. Functional doesn't require coding. Any functional doesn't require coding knowledge, but technical ABAPers, they require coding knowledge. So the modules, we have functional modules and technical modules in SAP. The functional are SD, FI, these are some core modules. And SD comes under functional and technical basis and ABAP. And SAP architecture, just now we discussed, it is R3, real-time three-tier architecture. Here we have three layers, presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Take this, SAP landscape. SAP landscape. See here, any client, if they want to implement SAP, don't take the notes, try to understand. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, first thing is they have to purchase license. We discussed. We'll discuss once again later, next classes. So any client, if they want to implement SAP, first thing is they have to purchase license from SAP. And the second thing is they have to purchase servers. They have to purchase servers. So that we call landscape. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Make a note. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Make a note. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, any client, if they want to implement SAP, then they have to purchase servers. Then they have to purchase servers. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, then they have to purchase servers. And SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. Minimum 3 servers, but maximum some clients will go for 4 or 5, depends on the client to client, but minimum 3 servers. Make a note. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. Take this first one, development server. Take like this. Take the box, development server. Next, quality server. Next, production server. Development server, quality server, production server. So why we require 3 servers? So development server will be used, don't write. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. So we are the consultants. What is our main role is if to implement SAP, we have to study the client's business process and map that into SAP. In which server we do mapping? Development server. That mapping we call the terminology as configuration. So development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. And development server will be used by consultants. Development server will be used by consultants. Next, quality server. Quality server is for testing. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. And quality server will be used by consultants and core users. We already discussed users. Who is core user? Core user is also employee of client who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. Core user is also employee of client who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. Example, senior people, senior managers, like that. So core user, quality server will be used by consultants and core users. And production server is the live server where users will enter day-to-day live transactions into SAP. Where users will enter day-to-day live transactions into SAP. Live transactions means in sales and distribution, we discussed inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. All these transactions users will enter in production server. Is the live server. So production server will be used by users. Users means both end users and core users. Okay, make a note. First take development server. Development server will be used development server will be used to configure development server will be used to configure the client's business process development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. Next line. Development server will be used by consultants. We are the consultants. We will use development server. Development server will be used by consultants. Development server will be used by consultants. Next, second server, quality server. Make a note. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. To test the scenarios. Next slide. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Make a bracket. Core user is the employee of client. Core user is the employee of client who is having good experience. Who is having good experience and exposure. Who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. in client's business process. Example, senior managers. Now take third one. Third one, production server. Production server will be, production server is the live server. Production server is the live server. Production server is the live server. Where users will enter, where users will enter, where users will enter day-to-day live transactions, day-to-day live transactions in SAP. Day-to-day live transactions in SAP. Production server will be used by users. Production server will be used by users. Bracket core users and end users. Users means bracket core users and end users. We discuss core user. End user is normal person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Is a normal person, but core user is experienced person. So that's it. Now, so we in this 10 years, 10 plus years, we placed almost 9,000 students in various companies, SD. 9,000 plus SD consultants in various companies. So what is the difference in Propel? So here in Propel, we have in-depth subject, every field, every function, every functionality. Everything we'll discuss in depth. So in SAP SD, everything we will cover, we'll discuss in depth. That is a main advantage. And we discuss real-time scenarios, real-time issues, and we'll give interview questions also, 1,000 plus interview questions, which will help you for interviews. And in this 10 plus years, we place 9,000 plus students and we take mock interviews. We will prepare your resume. We will guide you till you get offer, till you join in some company. You will have guidance from our side. So this is about Propel. So in this 10 plus years of training, we placed 9,000 students from Propel. And these 9,000 students are only SAP SD. So this is about Propel. So thank you for attending demo. Any doubts you can ask me now.
Sir, what is the meaning of enhancements package?
Enhancement package is nothing but developments. EHP stands for enhancement package, nothing but developments in your system. Enhancement is upgradation, nothing but you can say upgradation also. Okay, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Will you provide a server for us for practicing?
Server, you need to contact our staff, so they will guide you.
Okay.
How to get server and all. The numbers you can see here, you can contact to those numbers. They will guide you how to get the servers and all.
Okay.
Sir, quality servers used to test the scenarios. Then what type of scenarios occur, sir?
See, first we do developments, means we do configurations in development server. We'll move all the configurations to quality server. So here we'll perform testing. Testing means whether it is working fine or not. So in SD, we have some scenarios. We have some concepts. We have to do testing. At this point of time, I cannot explain this clearly. Suppose you will have one concept, credit management. Now you configure credit management. Now you will move that to quality server, and here you test it, whether that concept is working or not. That is nothing but testing the scenarios. So in SAP SD, we'll have some concepts. After every concept, you have to test it, whether it is working fine or not. Then only we will finally give it to production server, send it to production server.
Sir, I am completely new to SAP. Though I am having a almost 7 to 8 years career in sales and marketing. So if I join in SAP, so in future, can I get a good career in this?
Yes. Yes, and not only you, the people who are attending, almost 60 people who are attending demo, all are new to SAP only. So if you want career in SAP, if you want a career in software side, then this will help you a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Actually, I have a question. I have an experience of 5 years in sales and distribution line, and I worked as an end user in it.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Your voice is not
Hello.
clear.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
I work as an end user as SAP system, but I just want to know what is the basic difference of the core users and the end users.
Okay.
And
So end user is the person. End user is the person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP, who will do master data in SAP. As you are saying, you are user in SAP. End users will do day-to-day transactions like inquiry, quotation, sales order, purchase orders, delivery, invoice, all these transactions. The people who will do, we call them as end users. From SAP point of means our consultant point of view. Core user is the person. Can you mute yourself? I'll explain. I don't know. Some noise from your side.
sir, it's
1 second. Yes. See, end user is the person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP like inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. See, to implement SAP to any client, we don't know the client's business process as a functional consultants. So we require some person from client side who can explain the client's business process to consultants. So that person exactly we call core user. The person who will explain the client's business process to consultants. So who can explain the client's business process to consultants? So if he is having good experience and if he's having good exposure in that client's business process. So that I said, core user generally run back will take senior person from a sales department as a core user. And that person is responsible to explain the client's business process to consultants. So consultant will understand that and then we will configure it into SAP. So core user is generally senior person who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. So in our functional means SAP consultants point of view, core user is the person who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process, who can explain client's business process to consultants. But end user will treat end user the person who is doing all these day-to-day transactions.
so
Yes.
So basically, is the code user is the employee of the client, like the Ranbaxy
Yes.
is the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
oh, okay.
But who is
Okay.
having experience? Yes.
Yes.
Like example,
Sure.
senior manager person.
Oh.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, how many days it usually takes to install the whole process in for the client? This whole SAP process
It
implementation.
implementation, it depends on client to client. There is no fixed period. So it may take some clients 6 months, some clients 12 months, some clients 15 months. Depends on client to client, their business and their operations in how many countries they have operations. It depends on various parameters. But minimum is 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
Morning, sir.
Yes.
We have discussed about versions, right? After 6 version,
Yes.
like any business
Yes.
requirement will be getting relating enhancement packages.
Yes.
So these versions are related to entire SAP or SAP ERP? I didn't get that.
SAP ERP.
SAP ERP. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So there is no any special versions for SAP SD or FICO or something like that, right?
No. Total ERP means all core modules involved in that.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Got it. Got it. Okay, the classes will start from Monday.
Sir, one more
The
doubt.
classes will start from Monday.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I'm BTech student, sir. If you have any, I'm
See, as I
understand
said,
to lead.
yes. You will have 50% of BTech students from in our batch, when 50% of the people from other graduations. So only prerequisite is if you are graduate, you can do SAP SD. If you are graduate, you can do SAP SD. Any graduation, you can do SAP SD. Remaining, I will take care. But from your side, if you are graduate, you are eligible to do SAP SD. No prerequisite, no coding, no other related courses, nothing. If you are graduated and if you are interested to shift to SAP, just join. And
Yeah,
remaining, I will take care of it.
Hello, Ravi Sir.
Yes.
We are in degree BSc background, BSc computers. Is it okay for us?
See, that is what I am saying. Any graduation,
Okay.
whatever it may be, any graduation, any kind of graduation, you are eligible to do SAP SD.
Okay, sir.
Any graduation, you are eligible to do SAP SD. That's
Okay, sir. Thank you.
so Monday onwards, we are starting this class.
Hi, sir. Hello, Ravi
Monday,
sir.
1 second. Monday onwards, the regular classes will be starting. Okay.
Sir, what are the
Hello,
timings?
Ravi. Uh, Hello, Ravi sir. Can I speak?
Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt. Now, SAP is moving to have moved to a new technology, right? This S4 HANA technology. Whether is there any
Not yet
change
moved.
in?
We'll have time. We'll have time.
Oh, okay.
SAP is
Okay.
extended to another 10 years for that. You'll have time for that.
Oh, okay. Sir. Okay.
Okay.
So, is there any much difference in that, sir? Like as technology?
We'll have some slight difference. If you want to learn, we'll have that course also, but you have to join separately after completion of SD.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Monday onwards, we'll start these regular sessions. Thank you for attending
Sir, what
demo.
are the
Thank you very
timings,
much.